Hello, and welcome to CMS Forex News. My name is Nick Nassad. Today is Thursday, June 12th. In New Zealand, the manufacturing PMI dropped to 49.3 in May from 51.5 in April. A slowing global economic growth reduced export growth. It's the second month out of three that manufacturing has been in contraction. Food prices rose another 1% in New Zealand in May, driving the food price index up 6.8% in the year. That's the largest annual rise since October of 2001. Prices this month were being pushed up by vegetables, non-alcoholic beverages, and grocery foods. The food price index makes up about a fifth, or 20% of the consumer price index, which is expected to climb as high as 4.7% this year. In Australia, economists had predicted slower employment growth than in March, but instead were surprised by a decline which ended a streak of 19 months of job growth. The unemployment rate inched up to 4.3%, and it has been climbing since dipping to 4% in February. The Australian dollar-US dollar pair fell sharply following the employment release and continued falling as Greenback strength returned to the markets overnight. The pair was down about 150 pips for the day and is 300 pips off its high set on Monday. Today's levels put the pair at its lowest in about a month. Industrial production rose 0.9% in April in the Eurozone, surprising forecasts of another small decline. Production gains in France and Italy outweighed weakness in Germany. The data may have been distorted by extra working days in April as a result of an early Easter this year. Production is expected to cool in the Eurozone as the global economy slows, and the strength of the euro makes European goods more expensive abroad. In the U.S., initial jobless claims jumped 25,000 for the week ending June 7th, well above the consensus forecast, though some of the volatility was attributed to Memorial Day last week. The labor market has been weakening, and jobless claims should remain around at a higher level than we saw the previous week. The total persons claiming unemployment benefits rose to 3.139 million, the highest since February of 2004. Data from the Commerce Department showed that consumers went on a spending spree in May that is comparable to the holiday season, as U.S. shoppers used their tax rebates to shop at electronics and department stores. Gains came across the board, with even the automotive sector showing better sales, which have been steadily declining this year. Import prices in the U.S. were up 2.3% in May, slightly lower than the upwardly revised 2.4% in April. For the year, import prices were up 17.8%, the largest measure on record. Though the figures bode poorly for the economy as it pushes up inflation and cuts into the purchasing power of consumers and firms, higher inflation will make the Federal Open Market Committee more hawkish in their attempts to battle inflation and could lead to higher interest rates down the road. U.S. business inventories rose 0.5% as companies were unable to offload their stocks. Higher inventory numbers mean less orders in the short term as firms will wait to work off current inventory before ordering new products. The euro-dollar pair set a high near 1.5550 at the end of yesterday's session and fell more than 150 pips by New York trading, breaking below the previous week's low at 1.5450. Pound dollar wiped away its gains from yesterday and also fell to a new weekly low, touching 1.9435 directly after the U.S. retail sales news. For the week, the pair is down 250 pips. U.S. equities recovered a good portion of their losses from yesterday, with the Dow Jones Index up 160 points as of 12:30 p.m. Eastern, while oil retreated by $4.50 by this time. The dollar-yen continued its uptrend from earlier in the week and rose above the 108 level in New York morning trading. Better than expected retail sales data and an easing of oil prices helped outweigh a shakeup in Lehman Brothers, which said the CFO and the COO would be leaving their posts. Tonight, New Zealand releases its retail sales figures for April. Japan's central bank will decide on rates and will post consumer confidence data. Overnight, Germany releases CPI data, while the Eurozone provides reports on labor costs and employment change. Tomorrow, Canada will release a report on manufacturing shipments. The U.S. finishes the week off with its CPI data and the University of Michigan measure of consumer sentiment for June. And that wraps up today's news in the Forex markets. Please join us again tomorrow as we wrap up the week here at CMSFX.com. Happy trading.